My name is Thomas Weller. I'm 67 years old, a retired high school history teacher from Ohio, and I spent most of my life chalking lessons onto a blackboard, raising 3 children with my late wife, Claire, and dreaming about the day I'd finally be able to trade the classroom for calm waters and chirping birds. That dream finally came true 6 years ago when I bought a modest but beautiful cabin at Whispering Pines Lake, nestled in the rural hospitality of northern Georgia. I didn't go there to make a scene. I didn't go there to make trouble. I went for peace I felt I had earned after a lifetime of service to family, my students, and country. But peace, it turns out, is not always what others want for you. Sometimes people see your quiet happiness and decide it does not fit in their world. The cabin was built during the 1950s by a World War II veteran, Earl Jenkins. He left it to his son, and I bought it from his grandson, who had years before relocated to California. It had a creaky dock, a stone chimney, and a redwood porch where Claire's old rocker now sat. She passed away 8 years ago. That chair was her favorite spot on earth. The neighborhood wasn't upscale, but it was tight-knit, or at least I thought. I didn't pay much attention to the community politics. I took care to keep my lawn tidy, attended the occasional potluck, and spent the majority of my days fishing or futzing with small things around the cabin. Then the letters arrived from the Whispering Pines Lakefront Homeowners Association, a group I had never even heard of until the envelope arrived in April, as the daffodils were only just beginning to bloom. Notice of non-compliance, it said: unapproved changes to property, rustic dock building, non-standard materials. My dock, that old thing Earl built it himself in 1960. The board were old, sure, but sound, and more to the point, it was on my property. I called, lettered the bottom of the letter, and got voicemail, then a further letter. This one was more forceful. Failure to abate violations can result in legal action in the form of fines or demolition of building. They were trying to scare me, but I'd had 35 years experience dealing with teenage boys in holding cells. I knew when people were bluffing. I plowed through the paperwork. My deed specifically stated my property line. There was no mention of any requirement to join any homeowners association. In fact, it said that my parcel was exempt from any future HOA regulation grandfathered in prior. The HOA even existed. I went to one of their meetings. They had it in a refurbished clubhouse up on the hill, with shiny siding, a flagpole, and manicured landscaping. It was run by a guy named Brett Campbell, who seemed to miss being the quarterback in high school a little too much. Mr. Weller, he said to me, like he was speaking to a recalcitrant kid, we're trying to keep a standard here. This cabin was built when you were still a baby boy. I fired back, and it'll probably outlive your little clubhouse too. That's when it hit me. Something. The clubhouse where they held their meetings, their barbecues, their community yoga classes was constructed partly on the old Jenkins property, my property. I went home that night and took out the whole survey. It was as obvious as day. When the HOA expanded their clubhouse 5 years ago, they had built the addition onto my property, unknowingly or maybe knowingly, right onto my lot, about 20 feet of my south boundary, including part of the back patio and a storage shed. I hired a lawyer. The ratcheted up the pressure, threatening to sue or find me thousands. I hit back by serving them with a cease and desist. Brett and his board panicked. They offered to buy the land. I turned them down. Offered to remove the dock at no cost. I laughed at. Finally they make a concession. Just let us keep using the back section, Brett pleaded, and we'll issue the violation notice. I stared him in the eye and told him I'm not interested in doing business with people who are bullies to their neighbors. I gave them 60 days to vacate. They thought I'd cave, but I did. My lawyer delivered an official eviction notice 2 months hence. A sheriff and a court order made it clear the HOA had trespassed. They had no right to land, and now they had to demolish that part of the clubhouse or pay me rent. They chose to demolish it. The community was split. Some people felt I had acted too vigorously. Others quietly, gratefully thanked me out. Now I wasn't the only person they had been harassing all these years. There were others, an old couple who had clotheslined a widower with too many yard gnomes, but no one had resisted, not until the current. That summer I rebuilt the dock. I put sunflowers on the edge of the property where the clubhouse had used throw a shadow, and I put a plaque on Claire's chair. It reads *in memory of peace, hard earned. Because here's what I've learned: at 67, bullies wear uniforms of all kinds. Some wear suits, some bear clipboards, some sit in tiny clubhouses and dispense rules on your property. But no matter how good they sound, when someone attempts to take your peace, you fight back with truth, with patience, and if necessary with the law. And When you prevail you don't gloat, you sit, simply on your porch, drink your coffee, and let the wind chime sing a little song of justice. That's what I do now, every morning in Claire's chair still, rocks beside me. Life lessons 1. Know your rights. Don't let fear or fancy titles make you forget what's legally yours. 2. Stand your ground. Even quiet individuals can make a mighty noise when they stand for what's right. 3. Peace is worth preserving. You can always rebuild a shed, you can't always reclaim peace of mind. 4. Kindness isn't weakness. Being nice doesn't mean being a pushover. Real strength is quiet, steady, and sure. So, to anyone being pressured, threatened, or injustice, remember this: even a retired teacher with rocking chair and a stubborn heart can move mountains when pushed. 2.